and welcome to Nightsoul, a game where we're moving human waste in Tudor London back in the 1500s. Now, the idea of moving waste seems crazy, but back in the day they had Nightsoul companies, and their job was to go around the neighbourhood, collect all of that waste, put it on carts, take it down the river and throw it in the river. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this solo run through. Now, I'm going to be doing something really different with this video. I'm going to be doing the Coronation Day solo that comes with this game. Really cool. But I'm also did my own variant, which I'm also going to show you at the end. You don't have to watch it because it's not official, but it's something I made up. And if you want to watch it, stick through to the end. I'll put a little timestamp there and then you can go check that out. But for now, let's go check out Coronation Day. And this is the board we have in front of us here. Now we have all of the yellow areas, which are the peasant villages in London, and then we have the pink areas, which are the royal areas. Up the top here, we've got patron tracks, which we're going to be trying to fight over to try and get some of these ongoing abilities. Plus also, I have my own labor card. So let's just get straight into the solo and you'll learn how it plays. Straight away, we are in the day phase. In the day phase, look, I've got 3 workers to put out. So my job is to now start getting some actions. And what have I got? I've got 3 coins. Well, the first thing I'm going to do there is I'm going to put my thing there, my little worker, put my little worker on there. And that means when I put a worker out, it comes with a cube. Little worker comes with 1 cube of human waste. Big worker comes with 2 cubes. The other thing to note is there's restrictions on these neighborhoods. The yellow neighborhood has a restriction of 3 cubes. The pink royal neighborhood has a restriction of 2 because they're royals. They don't want human waste out the front. So look, that's why that is. Okay, now I'll also start off by telling you what is the purpose of this solo? Well, the purpose of this solo is for me just to remove all of the cubes off the board. So all of the human waste from the neighborhoods, plus also I've got to clear out all of the cubes on the patron tracks. Now I've got 5 rounds to do that in. It's going to be tough. So let's get straight into it now. So I've gone there, I've put out my worker, I've put out my cube of waste, and now I'm going to spend $2. And you'll notice I've just put 2 coins there just to remind me it costs me $2 every time I go to the labor card. Now this is going to give me some more cards here. So let's have a read. What do we got here? The barker lets me put out one of my tokens in the neighborhood. Yeah, not really useful for me right now. I can select the neighborhood and move cubes into it from adjacent neighborhoods. Maybe. Gain 1 coin. Also remove all cubes from the barge from these areas down here. So this is the river Thames or Thames. Anyway, I'm trying to get the waste, the turds into the river. This card is the best card in the game, so I'm definitely going to pick up the bargeman. So every time I see that card, I always want to add that to my hand. Okay, excellent. That is my first move. Let's go now. What else have we got here? Well, again, I've got to try and get rid of all of these cubes off here. So I might go, let's put my big worker here, and then that's going to come with 2 cubes. And now this one's telling me, this worker placement spot's telling me that I can remove 2 cubes. I think for now, let's just start getting rid of some of the cubes up the top here. So let's go 1, 2 there. Those cubes are gone from the game. Good starting point. And finally, for my last worker, I want to go to the brewery. So the brewery patron track is where I want to go. So to go there, I'm going to need to go to this symbol right here, this worker placement spot right here, put out my worker, place out a cube. Next up, I now get to go to that brewery track, and I think I'm going to go here. Put my worker on there, or my token on there. That gives me a bonus of removing a cube, and let's get rid of, look, let's say that cube's gone, and that is done for that. Now, I have the majority, so I will now take the brewery tile. So for now, any future turns, I will get a 1 coin discount. So that is the end of my day phase. Now it's over to the bot. And look, what is the bot trying to do? Well, they're just trying to be a nuisance, and they don't want me to be the best Nightsoul company. So they're going to try and cause mischief, come into my area and start taking out my turds. I don't want them touching my turds. I want my turds to be my own turds, and I'm going to chuck them in the river. Anyway, what we're doing is we're turning over 2 cards here. And what this is telling me here, this is giving me a particular neighborhood, which right now it's pointing to up here. And it's telling me what I need to add to that neighborhood. So I'm going to need to add a cube, which is a bit of a pain in the butt because I need to get rid of cubes. But anyway, we'll do that. And I also put out a small worker there. So that's the end of the day phase done. Now we go to the evening phase. Now for the evening phase, we're looking for neighborhoods that are full. Right now, this one is full, and that's pretty much it. So any neighborhood that's full, we're gonna put a coin on there. It's pretty much the equivalent of that neighborhood saying, we have a lot of waste. We will pay you extra to try and get rid of it, because it's starting to get a bit stinky around here. So, okay, that is good. Now, I've done that. Now, that is the end of that evening phase. Let's go to the night phase. And this is where my labor is. This is where my workers, the hard workers going out at night, cleaning up all that waste and taking it down to the river. So let's go work on what we've got here. Let's go with mudlark first. So we're gonna move one cube, 1 to 3 spaces, or we can move exactly 3 cubes together 1 space. Ooh, that would be good because I've got 3 cubes here and I'd love to be able to move them all together. But the problem is, well, I can never go over the maximum in that neighborhood. So maybe I should do a different card first. This one says move 1 cube 1 space, then move a different cube 1 space. So let's do that one, the gong farmer. So let's move this 1 space, and then let's think of another one, and let's go with that. Or actually, no, let's go with that one there. Okay, that is done now. Now we can move the mudlark, and the mudlark is gonna let me move those 3 cubes down here. Now I've cleaned out that neighborhood. Cleaning out that neighborhood means I get the reward what was there, which is 1 coin and the large worker. So you can see what the plan is. You're gonna be using the labor cards to try and clean out neighborhoods. We've got to get rid of all the cubes into the river, but I also want to be able to try and get some more workers for my next day phase, because right now I only have this 1 worker. So you've got to earn those workers. So really important. Next card, move 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood together 1 to 2 spaces. Well, I can certainly do that. So what about we move, let's move these 2 down here. That makes a lot of sense there. Excellent, I've done that. Move 1 to 2 cubes, done. And then lastly, the bargeman. Now the bargeman is gonna let me just clear out anything in this bottom section, which is these ones right here. So they're now gone. And now I'm gonna get these workers, because this spot is clean, this spot is clean, and this spot is clean. So now I have some workers, but the problem is they're all large workers, which isn't totally ideal. Actually, this is also mine as well, because it's clean. Okay, good. Done my first night phase there. They're all turned over. Now back to the day phase. Excellent, we're on the second round now. To the day phase, I've got this amount of workers. And remember, I've got that discount of 1 coin. So what am I gonna do here? Let's go with, again, I think it makes sense. Let's keep getting those labor cards. So I'll spend my 2 coins there. And which labor card will we get? Oh, I do like the swineherd. Let's do that. Let's grab the swineherd. And what I should have done was, during that morning phase, I should have flicked all these over, ready to go for the next night phase. Brilliant. Okay, so that worker's gone. Now, did he come? No, he didn't come with an extra bit of waste, so that's done. Now I'm very much short of coins. Actually, remember, I would have got the 1 coin discount, so I get 1 coin back. So that's brilliant. So what I think I'm gonna do again, I'm gonna grab another labor card, because again, I get that discount. So let's go here, let's grab 2 cubes of waste there. And again, I always forget to top that up, and I spend my 1 coin, and let's see, what do we got? The miner. Let's just grab the miner. Let's not overthink this. Now I've got, look, a lot of cards, and that's pretty much what you've got to do in this game. You've got to get a lot of labor cards. You're definitely going to need them. Okay, now what have we got here? I think let's go here and let's get rid of a couple more cubes. Let's start clearing out this patron track, and I'll go 1 there, and let's go 1 there. They're cleaned out. Next up, I've got 2 more here, and I definitely gonna need some coins. Even though I've got that discount for coins, well, unfortunately, I don't really have many. So let's go there. That's gonna put out 2 cubes of waste, and let me grab my 2 coins, and I've got 1 more worker left. Now, again, I really want to get on the patron track. I really need to be able to get some more advantages. So what are some of the advantages I want? The sheriff track will make sure I win all ties. So that's a good one to be on. The church will give me access to the nun worker, which is the nun worker's a basically special worker, which you can put out and doesn't have any waste with it. So that's a good one. I could go to the city watch, which means I can get waste out here. So that's maybe not a bad idea. Another avenue for me to get waste out up the top there. So let's try and go there to City Watch. Okay, so to do that, let me find the City Watch. It's over here. I can put my little meeple out there, and here we go. 2 cubes of waste. And now let me put out my token, and we need to go on the city watch, which is going to be this one here. Do I want to get an ongoing ability, or do I want to just win? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go on here. Again, lets me remove a cube, and I shall do that. Done. Brilliant, that is all my work is done. That is the end of my day phase. Over to the bot over here, and what have we got? Okay, ooh, interesting. So I did have the city watch. I had it very briefly, and now unfortunately the bot's gonna be going to the city watch, which is kind of feral. Let's go do that. So they're just gonna go to the leftmost spot there and block that for me. Now, because it's 1-all in that city watch there, I've lost that tile. So I had it for all of like 10 seconds. Now a cube goes on this one right here. Done. See, super simple, super easy uptake. I love that. Okay, now back to me. This is back to the night phase again. I've got all of these. Now let's just get straight into it. Cart driver. Move 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood together, 1 to 2 spaces. Cool, I can do that. Let's go there. 1, 2, done. Gong farmer, move 1 cube 1 space to move a different cube 1 space. Sounds good to me. 1, and let's go with 1. Okay, gong farmer done. Mudlark, move 1 cube 1 to 3 spaces, or move exactly 3 cubes to get a 1 space. Ooh, well, let's do that. Let's move 3 cubes down there, and the mudlark is done. Bargeman, we always want to do that at the end when these are filled to max chickens. Swineherd, remove 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood in the supply. Okay, or to the supply. Excellent, so we just get rid of 2, and there's 2 right there, and that wins me that worker straight away. I've also won these workers, so that's good. And lastly, that's Swineherd and Miner. Move 1 to 3 cubes, all from different neighborhoods, 1 space each. Well, we need to, let's go with 1, and let's go with 1, and let's go with 1. I think that works. Excellent, and done. And then finally the bargeman. Let's just clear out all of these spots down the bottom here. Boom, boom, boom. We are getting rid of waste, and I feel good. I feel good getting rid of waste. Getting rid of waste is fun. That's what this game's about. And look, I love that. Also, this worker is mine as well. I guess if we just play the game, you'll figure out how it goes. But before we do, let's just quickly go on the end game conditions that I made up for my variant. Now, there's 3 things that I need to achieve to beat this game. Now, it's going to be played over 5 rounds. Those 3 things I need to achieve is the patron track up here. There's actually 6 patron tracks up there. I need to be equal or have more patron tracks at the end of that 5th round. Okay, that's my first win condition. My second win condition is, you're going to notice down here, there's a lot of white cubes. That's the evil white enemy that I'm taking on. I'm actually the green cube here. I need to have more of my cubes out here in all of these different neighborhoods for me to win the game. And then lastly, the third condition that I need is any of mine that are green or neutral, meaning there's no token on them, they need to be free of human waste. Because again, for me to be the best night soil company out there, I don't want any of my neighborhoods having turd problems. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's get into it now. So we are in the day phase right now. And the first thing we're going to do for the solo here is we're going to turn over one of their misfortune cards. And this misfortune card says pirates. If you use the leftmost area to dump off our human waste, then we're going to have to pay a $1 coin. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. Let's just think about it in our head. I think we will be utilizing it, but we'll see. So I'm going to start off first on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to just mix it up. Okay, again, this is only for my version of the game, my variant of the solo. So normally we would start at the day phase, which is us putting out these workers here. But before we do that, well, there's a couple of things that I need to do different to be able to, I guess, achieve what I need to achieve. Because right now, our biggest problem is all of these spots that have the opponent, the evil white company out there, I can't use any of those worker placement spots. So it's going to be very important that in this first round, they'll utilize these 3 workers to try and clear up these spots to hopefully give me more worker placement spots going forward. So that's probably the big change over this version against the other solo version. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to put out a worker here. Now, I've only got a few available to me because again, I can't use any of the ones with the white tokens on them. So right now, the Royal neighborhood, because that's where I am. My Night Soul company is absolutely loved by the Royal family. They're saying, look, our Royal turds, you're the company for us. And so that's why I put my green here on the Tudor rows to say all of these pink ones, currently I own, or I'm the Night Soul company of choice in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out my worker here. Now this worker here is telling me I can then put one of my discs on one of the patron tracks. And the patron track I'm going to put it on is the Labour Union. So the Labour Union is this red one. It goes all the way around and goes down. You're going to notice there's some intersections there for the patrons. That is super cool. I love that. So I get to put it on one of these, and the one I want to put it on here is the banner symbol. Again, in my game, the banner symbol lets me remove one of their workers or one of their tokens. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to remove that token there. It's just basically saying, look, I'm going out, I'm influencing the Labour Union. The Labour Union says, look, as a reward, you know, this neighbourhood down here, the other company, they weren't doing very good. So how about we kick them out and let's have free reign and let's see who's going to take over that neighbourhood. First thing done. Now, because I have currently the majority in that Labour Union, I now take the Labour Union patron tile here. Now there's 6 patron tiles, all of them give you an ongoing advantage while you have them. So if you have the majority, then it's all yours. Now the other thing I do, small tweak, Labour Union, I change this to be able to do one of my cards twice. Again, this is different to the main rules, but that's the way I like to play it. So it means I get to use one of my cards twice. Okay. So that's a great thing to have. Now I've got my 2 more workers here to go. The first thing I want to do now that I have this one as neutral, I think it makes sense to utilize that again. So let's go out here. That's my worker out there. And, oh, actually, one thing I forgot. Whew, lucky I remembered pretty early in the game. Whenever you put out these workers, they come with their own human waste problem. Small workers come out with 1, and with the big workers, they come out with 2 cubes. So I better put a cube there for that worker, and I better put a cube out for this worker. Now, the other thing to note is Royal neighborhoods, they can only have maximum 2 cubes because Royals, they don't want a whole bunch of human turds out the front of their palace. No, sirree, they do not. And the peasants down here, well, they'll accept 3 before they get cranky at you. So just note, they're the maximum. 2 in the Royals, 3 in peasant villages. Okay. Excellent. So I've gone here, again, I'm using the same banner symbol again because I think early on it makes sense to try and clear out some of these. And I'm going to clear out this banner right here. And this one's going to be my Labour card. So that's super important. And for my final worker, that's exactly where I'm going. Going out there, I'm going to get myself a Labour card. Now I put 2 coins here to remind me every time I go to the Labour card spot, it costs me 2 buckaroos to purchase one of these Labours because they don't work for free. Who's going to pick up human shit for free? Not these guys. They want to get paid $2. So there you go. $2 done. Paid for one of these. And let's see. Let's go with the Bargeman. The Bargeman, super overpowered. I love it. Remove all the cubes from these 3 neighborhoods. And yeah, that's it. We just remove all the cubes. Excellent. So that's going to come in super handy for me. I love that card. Okay, Bargeman done. So I put out that worker there. He comes with his own bit of human waste. And the opponent, the evil white company, has to do their day phase too now. So I'm going to turn over 2 cards here and let's have a look at them. So what they're telling me is, this one's telling me up the top here, again, this is my own version, not the same as in the rules, but this is my version, where the X is showing me, that's telling me that the opponent, the evil white company now is branching out into that area. They're pushing into my town, into the royal villages, and I am not happy about that. I'm not going to stand by that. I'm pretty cranky about that. But it also tells me there I'm going to put out a cube and another small worker. Okay, that's fine. So I've got to really win that back to try and get some more workers. So that's good to know. Okay, so that's the end of that. That's all finished. And now we go to the evening phase. Now the evening phase in this version, super simple. Any of these areas that are full is going to get a coin. So the only one that's currently full is this one up here. They'll gain a coin and done. Because it's like they're saying, look, we're filled up. We'll pay you extra to get rid of this stuff straight away. Because, you know, let's be honest, it stinks. Okay, Cool. So that's done. So we're done the evening phase. Let's move to the night phase. This is the other main primary thing we're doing. So the first one is the day phase where we're putting out those neutral workers. This is going to be the night phase where we're going to be using our labor cards, try and get some of those workers back for our next round, and it's going to flow on. But it's also going to be how we're going to remove some of this human waste. So what have we got here? We've got 4 cards. This one, cart driver, it's telling me I can move 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood together 1 to 2 spaces. So maybe I do that. Let's do that first. Let's go 2 cubes here. 1, 2. Oh, of course, because of the pirates, I had to pay the $1. That's a bit annoying. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe I don't want to pay him $1. Let's go this way. Let's go 1, 2. And I've done that. I've done that card there. That's done. Now let's move this one, the gong farmer. Move 1 cube, 1 space. Then move a different cube, 1 space. Super simps. Okay, let's go with, let's move 1 guy down there. And let's move let's move him to there. Now, this is the other thing to note. This is how the game, again, is slightly different. Because now that I've cleared a spot, it's basically saying, look, I saw you out there working. You worked hard. You just picked up those turds, you put them in the cart, and I saw you take them away. Look, well done, Green Company. I love your work. You're gonna take that. You're gonna take that. You're now our choice, our turd picker upper, company of choice. And now I've won myself, I guess, those areas. They love me now. But I also get those workers. So let's do that as well. So that's done. Okay, so that was this one here. Move 1 cube, 1 space, move a different one. Done. Mudlark. Now I can move 1 cube, 1 to 3 spaces, or I can move exactly 3 cubes together, 1 space. Well, I've got nothing here with 3 cubes except for that, which I don't want to use because I'm going to eventually use the bargeman. So let's do this one. Let's move 1 cube, 1 to 3 spaces. Let's go. Maybe I might want to try and clear out the old nun here. So you're going to notice that there's 1 white worker. That's the nun. Nun's pretty cool. If you can get the nun in your hands, the nun just doesn't do any waste because they're so wonderful. And so whenever they go out and do worker placement stuff, they don't come with turds like these other workers. So good to know. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, and we've done that. Now remember, I've got the labor union card, and with my rules, means I get to do one of these cards twice. So which card should I do again? I think what it makes the most sense is move 1 cube, 1 space, and move a different one, 1 space. Let's do that one. So I'm going to do that cube, 1 space, and let's go with, what other one should we do? Let's go with, I'll just move him down there. Okay, so that's all of those turns. Now I've got the bargeman. The bargeman's that special labourer that I purchased before. This just lets me remove all of mine from those neighbourhoods. And let's do that now. And they're all removed. Oh, actually, there we go. Let's do that. And then the final rule. I swear to God, this is the last rule that I changed. Everything else exactly the same as the designer meant it to be. But what I've done is, ignoring all this, again, this would be all affected in multiplayer. It actually doesn't work in solo. They just, designer removed it in solo. But what I do is for every 5 cubes, I gain $1. So, like, I know it seems convenient, I have 5 cubes, but that was the rule that I made prior. So there we go. I get rid of my 5 cubes and I gain $1. A buckaroo. Okay, so that is the end of my night phase. Then we get to the morning. Let's turn over our labourers. They'll be ready to go for the next day. I earned my income, which was that. We move another day, and now we move another one of these over. Another misfortune card. And you notice there, I'm keeping all my misfortune cards. They're not being removed. There's only one way to remove the misfortune cards, and that's by going to this symbol right here. So this one says, aggressive rival. At the beginning of the evening phase, move an opponent's token in a neighborhood of your choice. Ooh, okay, well, let's think about it. Let's put that here so it reminds me when I finish the day phase to go and do that. Because these 3 neighborhoods down here have no cubes on them, I get those workers. Again, it feels like I'm just making stuff up here, but it's all legit. Trust me, it's legit. So basically anything that doesn't have cubes on it, you get whatever's there. And for the worker placement spots, again, my rules is if there's nothing there, if I've removed waste out of that area, I then take ownership of that area. So that's the only difference. The bottom 3 spaces, you don't take ownership. No one takes ownership of it. It's just the river. You're just dumping stuff then. You don't need to take ownership of that. So, okay, cool. So I actually have 5 workers for this round. Let's go, day phase. I think let's do that. Let's get rid of all of these because I don't want these misfortune cards. I don't like these misfortune cards. So let's go put a worker out there, and maybe I'm going to send my big worker out there. Big worker comes with 2 cubes, so that's now filled up, but it lets me get rid of the misfortune cards. They're now gone. I also get $1 and I'm happy. That's done. That's one turn done. What are we going to do next? I think again, let's make sure that we continue to go up these patron tracks. So maybe I want to do that. Maybe I might go out here and let's go. I'll put that worker there. It's going to come with 2 cubes. Now max chickens, but it lets me put a worker out in this one here, which is the sheriff spot. So let me explain the sheriff spots. Firstly, let me see, what do I want to get? Okay, the other thing to note is you're going to have cubes there. Those cubes, the only way to get rid of those cubes, and those cubes are on intersections, so it actually means you take ownership of both of those 2 intersections, both of those 2 patron tracks, which is really cool. But you've got to go here to get rid of the cubes. So something to note, haven't done that yet. So I can only get access to these ones right here. And let's go with, let's get rid of a banner, another banner. Which one should we get rid of? I kind of like the idea of getting rid of this one because eventually I would love to clear that out and get all of that stuff. More workers, a coin. Let's get rid of that one there. Plus also, we're kicking them out of the royal area because how dare they come into my royal area with their like shovels and stuff? Just terrible. Okay, cool. What else have I got? I got 3 workers left. Obviously, very important. I get some cards. So let's do that. Let's send a little worker out there. Comes with 1 human waste, and I get to pay $2 for a card. And let's actually top that up because you should always have 4 of them. And what did we get come out here? Swineherd. Return 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood to the supply. Well, this one here, move 1 to 3 cubes, all from different neighborhoods, 1 space each. Both of them are quite good. Maybe let's go with the miner for now. Let's go with the miner. Let's take that one there. I'll top that up. Okay, and now 2 workers left. What are we gonna do? Ooh, well, now that there's no one here, I could also go there. Ooh. Let's do that. Let's go back. Oh no, actually, I don't like that. Maybe let's get some coins first. Let's go up. I'll use the big worker, spend 2 cubes and get me 2 coins. And now I was going to go up there. I think I've changed my mind. Let's go hard. Look, in this game, super important that you get these cards. This is probably the one takeaway. If you get nothing else out of this video, get all the cards you can. So I've gone there, put out another human waste, and let's get another card, $2 spent. And I kind of like the swineherd from before. Now I've got 6 laborers here. Excellent, excellent. Okay, that is the end of my day phase. Let's go to the bots day phase and let's have a look here. Okay, firstly, they're going to put their token on this space here. Jerks, they're just stubborn. They really want to get in on this royal poop cleaning business of mine. But no, the royals, the queen, the king, absolutely still adore me. I still own the rest of them, but this little one area, now unfortunately the evil white companies come in and they're the official poop cleaners of that area. Okay, also up here as well, we're also gonna get a cube and also, well, I'll tell you that in a second. Let's put the cube down first. So where was it there? Actually, we can't put the cube down there because it's only a maximum of 2. So that cube doesn't matter, just ignore that. But this one here, which is the city watch. So the city watch one is this one here, 8 areas there. And it basically says move cubes. Oh, okay, cool. It lets me move cubes out this way. So it's like the royals have their own little secret exit where you can just dump stuff out the back there. So that opens up that. So anyway, I don't have access to it, but they do. So let's see, they just put it on the most left spot there. And there we go, that's now gone. I can't utilize that. Okay, so that is the end of the day phase. We go to the evening phase. And again, we put coins on any that are filled up. Now, a few of these are now starting to get filled up. This one's filled up, this one's filled up, this one's filled up, and that is, oh no, this one over here is also filled up. Excellent, so there's some coins out there. So maybe that should be one of my focuses for this turn. Okay, especially that one there. That is neutral, got 2 coins, 2 workers. That is definitely one of the ones I want to clear out. Okay, let's think about this. What are we gonna do? We've got here the swine herd. Now, actually, let's also note here, I haven't grabbed myself. So right now, what am I on? This one, the sheriff here. I didn't explain the sheriff. So when I won the sheriff, actually allows me to win all ties. So this is important. So let's just say the Evil White Company put another token here, and all of a sudden we're 1 and 1, and then all of a sudden I would have lost the Labour Union. But because I own the sheriff, I win all ties. That's the way the sheriff works. Because I've sucked up to the sheriff, probably given him, a cheeky little $50 under the table, and now he's looking after my company. Okay, let's go. We're going to go with, let's start with the swine herd. Return 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood to the supply. Let's just do that. Let's not overthink this. 2 cubes there, gone to the supply. I now take those workers, I take those coins, and because it's a rural neighborhood, I'm already ownership, so I don't have to put one of my tokens on there. So there we go, that's great. That was a good win. Swine herd, you have done your job well. Mudlark, move one cube, 1 to 3 spaces, or 3 cubes. Well, again, I don't have 3 cubes, so let's just move. Maybe we could line up 3 cubes. Let's maybe do that. Let's go with this one here. Move 1 cube, 1 space, and a different cube, 1 space. So let's do that. Let's go 1 space there. 1. Oh no, that won't work. Let's go with that one there and that one there. Okay, so that's my 2 there. That's done. And now I can use this one here. Move exactly 3 cubes together, 1 space. Let's do that. 3 cubes down there, and they're moved. Mudlark, finished. Cart driver, move 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood together, 1 to 2 spaces. Sure. Where do I want to clear out here? Let's go with... okay, let's not overthink this. Let's not overthink it. Let's go 1. Okay, done. Cart driver finished. Miner, move 1 to 3 cubes, all from different neighborhoods, 1 space each. Sure. We'll go 1. We'll go 2. And I'll go 3. That is done. Now let's not forget, I have the Labour Union card, which lets me do one of these again. And which one do I want to do again? Let's go with, I kind of like the swine herd. Let's maybe just do the swine herd one. Where was that? It was this one, wasn't it? Swine herd. Let's do the swine herd again. Remove 1 to 2 cubes from the same neighborhood to the supply. Done. Okay. Done. And now we have the bargeman. Remove all cubes from the bottom section here. All gone. And there we go. That is all of my workers done. That is my nighttime done. We get to the day phase again. Woo! Let's move that down. Let's flip this over. And again, check if I have 5 cubes for $1. And let's do that. 5 cubes for $1. And you can see, this is my solo. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Hopefully you're getting the general gist of it. So I hope everyone's okay with me just being unique, grabbing 90% of the vibes of this game, of what Night Saw is about, and just giving that last 10%. That was just me enjoying it with some tweaks there. So again, not being disrespectful to the designer at all, because he's got a great solo mode, got a great multiplayer game. I just wanted something a little bit more that was more suited to me. And that's why I decided to make this video. And I don't know, probably the last time I'll ever do this again, because I don't know if anyone will ever talk to me again after this. But hey, look, I'm just trying to, just give you something to know that if you purchase this game, there's some fun in this box. And even if the original wasn't for you, hey, I've just given you an alternative which you may enjoy. But like I said, multiplayer, definitely its strongest point. And Night Saw, just something, again, a very unique game, a very unique theme. And hopefully this video sort of just showed you the vibes of Night Soil. Anyway, that's all I have. I'm Hoges. This is the Bangers Project. That was Night Soil. Laters.